Alright, today I'm going to show you how I make a glowing resin green lantern ring. First of all, we start off obviously with some ring wax, some jeweler's wax. You can get it from pretty much any jewelry supply website or store. This happens to be from autofray.com. Got your solid blocks of wax, or you can go with the actual ring tubes, depending on the size of the ring that you need to make. For those larger sizes, I would recommend certainly going with the blocks. For standard sizes, you go with the tubes. Anyway, however you decide to carve the ring, you want to eventually end up with something along these lines, the finished wax carving. Okay. Just to show you a couple of the tools that I use, very rudimentary actually. I've got basically just a little probe, an X-Acto knife that I change the blades on, and this is my primary sculpting tool, a small flathead precision screwdriver. I've tried other things, but this just seems to be old faithful. And then as far as shaping the wax goes, really just a lot of hand shaping with several different files, a half round to get the inside of the band, and then just some different textures on a regular wax file to get the outside. So now that we've got the wax cast like this, we're going to go ahead and make a mold. Now the first thing you want to do with the wax cast is to get it ready to go in a mold box. A lot of different ways you can do this. I'm doing it the way it was done on the Instructables tutorial by Honus. Basically just making a little mold box out of some sheet aluminum, and I've hot glued all of the seams there to make sure there's no leaking or anything like that. So I have my little mold box, and I've prepped the wax casting of the ring, see the green lantern ring there, with some wax sprues. What this is going to end up doing, this is going to be the fill sprue. This cone here is just the end of a ballpoint pen. There's a lot of different things you can use for that, but this works well for me. And this is going to end up being the vent sprue to allow some of the air bubbles to escape. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a little bit of super glue on the ends of the sprues here, and we're going to mount this in the mold box. Now this super glue will break loose very easily once the mold is completed, so don't worry about that. And it does help hold everything in place. Once it's in place, we'll let it dry for just a few minutes, and then we'll mix up our silicone and make the mold. Okay, so very carefully, I'm going to try to get it as centered as I can in the mold box. And it should stand up fairly easily. Let it set for a minute, a couple seconds I should say. Okay, so it's set. So now we're going to let that dry for just a few seconds, and then we'll get ready to pour the silicone. Okay, cut. Just trying to recenter it here so it'll be even in the mold. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, so when we come back, we'll mix up some silicone and actually pour the mold.